We're looking at a worksheet called Pick Lists in our Chapter 3 file. And the term pick list, sometimes referred to as a drop-down list, is a really valuable tool, a huge time saver when you're building a list of data. In this worksheet, in column A, we've got a list of employee names. We will eventually have statuses in column B, state, column C, department, column D. And for each of these columns, instead of having people type entries, have them pick from a drop-down list. And the data that we're going to be using for the moment is off to the right in columns F, G, and H. Ideally, you want to have these nearby when you're setting up the feature and then later move them to a different location. So in column B, we want entries to appear as we're seeing them in column F. Select column B, Data tab in the ribbon, off to the right, Data Validation under Data Tools. Allow, List, click in the Source panel, go highlight the appropriate data, and click OK, and we've got our pick list for every entry here. Click the drop arrow, there it is. Do the one up here possibly? There we go. We can do this from the keyboard with Alt down arrow, then use your arrow keys, come to the one you want, press Enter, and so on. If the list contains more than 8 entries, you will see a scroll bar. In this case, it was pretty short. We didn't see that. I'm going to add a new category over here in column F, intern. As you might expect, we will not see this in the list just yet. But if we click that cell and drag its top edge with the Shift key upward, and let go of the mouse first, now it does appear in the list. If it's important that contract appear above it, then after having done that, drag contract upward with the Shift key, put it above intern, let go of the mouse first, and now it's in the order that you would want. And of course, we could sort the order. A different approach could be if we convert this to a table, then it has the attribute if we add entries below it, those automatically become part of the table, and then they would appear in our list automatically. How about state? The order there is not alphabetical, but it's in order of population. And so that's something to be thinking about, because if people were scrolling to find a state name, would they be familiar with the population order? Well, probably not for a lot of them. So a good approach here probably would be to sort this list. And in this case, we simply want to select this data only, nothing to the right or left of it. And then the AZ button on the Data tab, sort in ascending order. And Excel warns us that we're not considering the data on either side, the adjacent data. Well, we don't want to use that data. We want to continue with the current selection. Click the button, click Sort. That's probably a better order. That's the way it will appear in the pick list in column C. Then we go to Data Validation after selecting column C. Once again, allow, list, source, and the data from G2 down to G52. Okay. And we will see a scroll bar because there are more than 8 entries here. So scroll up and down. We can find these pretty quickly with alphabetizing and save some typing time too, of course. With department, even more dramatic and time saving. Look at those entries there. Some of them take quite a bit of time to type. And look at the use of periods and not use of periods in various cells. MFG period, but not a period behind admin. Here's the ampersand symbol. In some cases, maybe people would spell it out. People will misspell environmental, but if it's a pick list, nope, they simply pick from the list. So column D, same idea. Allow, list, source, and select the cells in column H. And again, think of how much time is going to be saved by not typing these entries. Now, what if you discover that the manufacturing department is occurring most often? In fact, you find out it's going to be about a quarter of the entries. It gets a little annoying after a while to always have to scroll to get to that entry. So let's drag manufacturing to the top with the Shift key, but not all the way, just one short of the top entry. With the Shift key, let go of the mouse first. And then take the top entry, drag its bottom edge with the Shift key. Now, of course, we could have done this ahead of time had we known that, but let's say we discover it later. You can change the order that way. So now as we click in column D, we see manufacturing is first. And eventually what you want to do is not have these on the screen. So people making the entries over in columns B, C, and D ultimately don't want to be seeing these on the screen the way they are here. You don't want them to make changes to them, of course. So take this data here, highlight it all, right click and cut. And let's just put this on a separate sheet and right click and paste. And now the pick list will still work. We see the drop arrows here. We're seeing our list, even though it's on a separate worksheet. And if you want to go a step further, you could hide that other sheet. And if that were not enough, you could even protect the workbook so that no one else could discover the hidden sheet. But no question, a valuable tool, pick lists, to accelerate data entry and eliminate a lot of typing.